Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 16, Translation. My dear Lord, in your impersonal manifestation of Brahman, there are always two opposing elements, knowledge and ignorance. Your multi-energies are continually manifest, but the impersonal Brahman, which is undivided, original, changeless, unlimited and blissful, is the cause of the material manifestation. Because you are the same impersonal Brahman, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita it is said that the unlimited impersonal Brahman is the effulgence of the transcendental body of Govinda. In that unlimited effulgent aura of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are innumerable universes with innumerable planets of different categories. Although the Supreme Person is the original cause of all causes, still his impersonal effulgence, known as Brahman, is the immediate cause of the material manifestation. Dhruva Maharaj therefore offered his respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. One who realizes this impersonal feature can enjoy the unchangeable Brahmananda described here as spiritual bliss. So there is a long purport, and I will read paragraph by paragraph, but I want to read the Sanskrit. Yasmin virudagata yokhya nisham patanti. No. Don't recite after me. I'm just reading it for myself. Not for myself, for the recording. Vidyadayo vivida shaktaya nupurvyat tad brahma vishva bhavamekam anantamadhyam anandamatram avikaram aham prapadye. So here, at the end of this paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says that one can enjoy the spiritual bliss. And we know that in the Nectar of Devotion, it is described that Brahmananda, the realization of bliss of the Brahman, or realization that one can have when he realizes Brahman, is bringing certain enjoyment, certain bliss. But in comparison with the realization of Bhagavan, this is very insignificant. This kind of spiritual bliss. It's very small in comparison with the ocean of bliss that one gets from realizing Bhagavan. So there is some spiritual bliss. So we say Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate, Bhagavatam says. And so when one realizes Brahman, he realizes the aspect of eternity of the Absolute Truth. When one realizes Paramatma, he realizes the aspect of eternity and knowledge of the Absolute Truth, Sat Chit. And when one realizes Bhagavan, all three are included, Sat Chit and Ananda, eternality, knowledge and bliss. And the real bliss, the real Ananda, is there in the realization of Bhagavan. So now these things that are described here we cannot understand right now, and therefore it is stated Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve jata gurau tasyaite kathita hyarta prakashante mahatmanaha. Only to those great souls who have an unflinching faith in the spiritual master and the Lord, the imports or the secrets of the Vedic knowledge are revealed. So there are so many inconceivable things, and sometimes we try to compare with what we read in the Shastra with our small experience that we have in this world, And then we are confused. How is this possible? How is that possible? How somebody can be at the same place, at a different place in the same time, at the same time? How Daksha got the head of a goat? How universes are coming out of Mahavishnu? So many inconceivable things that are impossible by material estimation. And then sometimes people conclude, oh, this is just some fairy tale, therefore I cannot have faith in this. I want to see something tangible. Now, regarding developing faith based only on seeing, this is not very intelligent. Do you have a pen? I need a pen. I want to show you how our eyes are imperfect with the example of the pen. Oh, do you have a thinner pen? Okay, this one is thinner. So you see, this pen is hard. I cannot bend it. It's hard plastic, isn't it? Yeah. And now, see, look now. Is it like a rubber? So you can see that our eyes are not sure now if this is actually bending or not, just because our eyes are imperfect. So now with these eyes, we want to see God. We cannot see what is behind the wall. You don't know what is on my table in the room there, because you haven't been there, or even if you have been there, like you have been there yesterday, but I'm sure you cannot remember. You know there is a laptop, but about other things you are not sure. And what to speak of knowing what is in my bag? So Srila Prabhupada says, why are you insisting on realizing things by seeing? You should be realizing things by hearing. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to develop our realization based on hearing. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes that this impersonal feature or Brahman manifestation of the Supreme Lord is meant for persons who are essentially very advanced but still not able to understand the personal features or variegatedness of the spiritual world. Such devotees are known as Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, or devotees whose devotional service is mixed with empiric knowledge. Because the impersonal Brahman realization is a partial understanding of the Absolute Truth, Dhruva Maharaj offers his respectful obeisances. So he is offering obeisances even to the partial understanding of the Absolute Truth. And what is the partial understanding? The aspect of eternality. And now, here Srila Prabhupada says, devotional service is mixed with empiric knowledge, and later he will say devotional service is mixed with material knowledge. In the last paragraph. So there is Karma Mishra Bhakta, Yoga Mishra Bhakta, and Jnana Mishra Bhakta, where the bhakti is mixed with karma, bhakti is mixed with jnana, and bhakti is mixed with yoga. So we are aspiring for pure Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service, which is freed from all tinges of jnana and karma, jnana karmadi anavritam. This is described, the pure devotional service is described as jnana karmadi anavritam, devoid of tinges of jnana and karma. At the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a wonderful example. We will read it shortly. Let me see. Okay, so someone may be one has to be very advanced to realize Brahman, to realize the eternality aspect of the Lord. But he is still not able to understand the personal features of the Lord and his devotees and variegatedness of the spiritual world. We see that people see that nowadays many people are posing themselves as great teachers, especially teachers of success, teachers of happiness, life teachers. They're trying to teach us how to be happy in this life and in this world. And sometimes I challenge these people and ask them, what about afterlife? You are teaching success within the limited time span, which is this lifetime, but what about afterlife? And I ask some very, very famous teachers, and they say, oh, we don't know what is afterlife, so therefore we don't waste time on this. So, what is this saying? Eat drink. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we may die. Be happy now. Enjoy now. Enjoy while you can. Because once you can't, then you have missed your chance. So I think every one of us has this experience that there is something to be enjoyed and we want to grab it. And we don't care about the future. But intelligent person, he thinks, okay, what would be the natural consequence of eating too much sugar?
Diabetes?
Yeah.
Maybe cancer?
Yes. And then there is this saying, at least in my country, there is only one lifetime. So that means just enjoy it fully. And then modern teachers and coaches say, at the end of life you should have no regrets. That you have not enjoyed what you could have enjoyed, and so many things. But they don't think about the next life. They don't understand that there is a next life. And Srila Prabhupada sometimes, very often, he would just say very basic things. For example, there is one story where Srila Prabhupada asked his disciples, are you convinced? And nobody dared to answer. And he said, I'm convinced. And he also said, do you understand what is this all about? And I don't know if disciples answered, I don't remember, but he said, the point is that we are eternal. So if we are eternal, then what are we going to do eternally? We try to be God? We already tried that, it didn't work. We are still trying more or less, it doesn't work. By the mercy of material energy, we are very unsuccessful in trying to be God. And therefore, we are looking for an alternative. But when we hear about the alternative, we are not so happy. Because we imagined that I should be, in the ultimate issue, the perfection of life is that I am in the center, not someone else, whoever that may be. So I may tell you, increase hearing of Srila Prabhupada's classes, increase reading of Srila Prabhupada's books, and you do it, and you may conclude, this is not for me. I don't like this. Always Krishna is in the center. And then you want some other process where it's not really clear who is the boss. So you have some space to speculate that maybe I'm the boss. In one way or the other, maybe I'm the boss. So conditioned souls are experts in avoiding surrender. And this is why it's not sure how many of us will stay here. Because after some time we conclude. So there is so many excuses why we can leave. One big excuse is nobody cares. Let me go to a community where people are a little bit more kind. Then another excuse may be, I have worked so hard and nobody paid me. Or nobody reciprocated, and nobody said thank you. So we are not working so that somebody will say thank you, or we will get pension, or something like that. I remember some devotees who translated Prabhupada's books for many years. They sued ISKCON because they were not paid for this. They left and they sued ISKCON, and then I was still in the BBT at that time. We got a paper from ISKCON to sign that we will not ask for money after we translate books. So I was thinking that this is a very practical thing and this should be done. It should have been done from the very beginning, but they didn't. They couldn't imagine that people would ask for money for translating books. So that means people don't understand that they are actually working for their own benefit by doing devotional service, and that we should pay ISKCON for allowing us to serve. You know that? This is how I see it. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have sessions with devotees and I learn so much in the session from a devotee I'm coaching, advising, listening, that I say, can I pay you for this session? And of course they are very reluctant. They say, no, I should pay you. And only one time, at least until now, one time one devotee accepted my payment. It was not huge, but I said, please accept this. You need it for your project. You want to do one project. Because this session was so valuable. I was making notes while we had a session, and I took away from the session something very valuable. I feel like I should give you a donation. So similarly, every devotional service is golden. Every devotional service is so precious that we should pay ISKCON for allowing us to do this service, because we have no idea how much benefit we get and how much credit we get on the spiritual bank account, but even a little devotional service. It is said that this impersonal Brahman is the distant realization of the Absolute Truth. Although apparently Brahman seems to be devoid of energy, factually it has different energies working under the headings of knowledge and ignorance. This is very gross division. You have knowledge and ignorance, energies under knowledge and ignorance. On account of these different energies, there is continually a manifestation of vidya and avidya. Vidya and avidya are very nicely described where? You remember? Yes. In Ishopanishad. It is said that sometimes, due to avidya or a poor fund of knowledge, one accepts the Absolute Truth as ultimately impersonal. But in fact, the impersonal and personal realizations develop in proportion to the development of devotional service. The more we develop our devotional service, the more closely we approach the Absolute Truth, which in the beginning, when we realize the Absolute Truth from a distant place, is manifest as impersonal, or it looks like as impersonal. And we are coming towards the end of the purport. We have one more paragraph that there is a very nice metaphor, very nice example given by Srila Prabhupada. So there is this avidya Shakti, and what is the other name for avidya Shakti? Yes, and yes, avidya Shakti. But you know the answer to this question. Another name for avidya Shakti is Maya. Material energy is meant to keep us in ignorance. So one important point to understand from these descriptions is that the realization of Brahman is not the complete realization. It's a partial realization. And like today, if you read some good books or books about goodness, which are teaching you how to act in the mode of goodness or how to be successful, you see that there is so many good things in there. I mean, practical things, even for us. But actually, it is what? It is incomplete knowledge. They don't say the whole truth. And therefore it's dangerous. Therefore it is dangerous. And when you want to discuss with them, when you challenge them, when you ask them, they don't want to discuss. At least two very famous people I have invited for a public debate. Because also they get very emotional sometimes when we speak about these things, about like very the essence of life, and because they are so convinced about what they think is right. But how can somebody be excited about the fact that they don't know what is coming after this lifetime, and they don't want to discuss it? I don't understand this. I mean, very intelligent person, very famous. Call him a guru, success guru. And then I invited another one who is considered to be a top leadership expert in the world by certain institutions or magazines. Can we have a emotionless public debate about the facts? No response. And I also met him personally. And I mentioned another one that I wanted to speak about afterlife, and he says, we don't know, therefore we will not spend time on this. And these are people that hundreds and millions and thousands of people are following them. They sell millions of books. And you are so lucky because you are not satisfied with incomplete knowledge. I remember when I read some books, for example, Buddhism, and I read Tao Te Ching, I Ching, Book of Changes. I read some books on yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and I always felt, okay, this is very nice, amazing things are there, but something is missing. I'm not sure what, but somehow it's not complete explanation. And when I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I didn't understand very much, but I saw that this is so broad. And I didn't even like that on every page it says Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at least I was trying to be very honest and admit that this really makes sense, even if I don't like it. It makes sense. I mean, this description is so broad. Everything I read so far is there, and plus so much more. So how can I ignore it? It's just, it would be foolish to ignore this knowledge. So that's one important point. incomplete knowledge, and here it is described, this is a partial realization of the absolute truth. So now they speak about, universe, they speak about light, they speak about it. You have heard about it? It means something. The source, they say the source, for example. They have many names for something that is it, or that is the source, and they don't want to call it God because religious institutions are corrupted. They don't like to call it God because I think they also don't like the fact that God is old. And we have a solution for this. God is not old, He's 16 years old. So why are you frustrated? Oh, we don't like Him, He's blue. He's not actually completely blue, He's dark blue, or, he's... If you see Him, then you tell me if you don't like Him, because He's the most beautiful. So and Prabhupada says, okay, you don't know how God looks like, so take Krishna. We are describing to you how God looks like. So, at some point, you will have to face your own heart, your own understanding, and see that, do I want this? Do I want this devotional service? Do I want to serve God eternally? Do I want to be part of the group of living entities that are servants of God? Or I want to be independent? I want to do my own thing. I want to do it my way. Everyone has to face this. Do I really want this? So you're hearing, doing something, doing service. Sometimes you like your service, sometimes you don't like it. And slowly you may build up frustration that, what am I doing here? I mean, I'm wasting time here. You see, people are enjoying in the material world, also suffering. But we have modern medicine. You can go to the hospital and get cured. Yesterday we went to the hospital for 6 hours. And the doctor was so ecstatic. He says, you are okay. He said, you are okay. Come in 2 weeks if you are on the verge of death, and we will help you. So then sometimes devotees say, oh, I joined very early, I haven't enjoyed the material world, so I have to come back, take some drugs, watch TV, have sex, and then maybe I will come back. Well, good luck. If you didn't understand what is this all about, then no one can help you. You have to continue in the university of hard knocks. So, there is 3 kinds of people. Some learn by hearing. I haven't seen such a person on this planet. Second, they learn by mistakes. That means they make a mistake and they don't repeat it. So if we are lucky, we will get into this category. We will get into this category of people who learn by mistakes. But we are still not in this category. Unfortunately, we are in the 3rd category. We don't learn by mistakes. We repeat the same mistakes again and again and get kicked again and again in the school of hard knocks. So this is very unfortunate. But hopefully one day we will understand and we will not stop repeating our mistakes. So let us look at the last paragraph. People in general who are under the influence of avidya shakti or maya have neither knowledge nor devotion. But when a person who is a little advanced and is therefore called a jnani advances even more, he is in the category of Jnana Mishra Bhakta, or a devotee whose love is mixed with material knowledge. So, do you know what is Markine Bhagavata Dharma? No? This is a poem that Prabhupada wrote just when he was coming to Boston Commonwealth Pier. He came with Jaladuta from India after 2 months of traveling on a boat and 2 heart attacks. So he wrote a poem to Krishna, and at the end he says, "They have given me a title, Bhaktivedanta. I have neither devotion nor knowledge." So this is mentioned here. They don't have neither devotion nor knowledge. And he said, "But I have a strong faith in the holy name of the Lord." So we saw that Prabhupada's faith made him stay and continue his mission. When he is still further advanced, he can realize that the Absolute Truth is a person with multi-energies. An advanced devotee can understand the Lord and His creative energy. As soon as one accepts the creative energy of the Absolute Truth, the 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are also understood. Now, in practice, devotee, when he sees what's happening, he's just in wonder. He says, "Wow, Krishna is so great. I mean, so many amazing things are happening in this world. How is this happening? How is this happening? How is this happening?" To me, in my service, I have been talking to thousands of devotees, and the way that they get a shift when in their thinking or in their attitude, it's just a miracle to observe this. They have a shift. They have a shift. And how they get inspired by Krishna. So you may say, how can I talk to people? They speak about problems. But actually, if you're curious, when you talk to someone you want to help, when you are curious that how is Krishna present in the life of this devotee? How is Krishna challenging this devotee? How is Krishna testing this devotee? How is Krishna helping this devotee? I'm curious to know. And then you can see. To me, this is more interesting than some natural phenomena, some miracles like in the nature, or some people can do something miraculous. To me, the most impressive thing or fascinating thing is when the people make a switch in their character, in their attitude towards God. This is amazing. So devotee is observing the creative energies of the Lord within people, within nature, and he is in awe. He's just so fascinated. Devotees who are still further advanced in full knowledge can understand the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Only on that platform can one fully enjoy transcendental bliss. So there is this Nama Rupa Guna Lila. It is said that you first realize the name, then the form, then the qualities, and then the pastimes of the Lord. It says only on the platform when you start understanding transcendental pastimes of the Lord, one can fully enjoy transcendental bliss. And now we are coming to something I was promising from the beginning of this class. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives an example of a person who is going towards his destination. For example, you are walking towards a city. As we were coming here from Radhadesh, I have seen in the distance the city of Cologne. I have seen some tops of the buildings, but I didn't know what's in here. As he approaches, he sees the destination from a distant place, just as we see a city from a distance. At that time, he simply understands that the city is situated at a distance. This is what we experienced the other day. When, however, he comes still nearer, he sees the domes and the flags. But as soon as he enters the city, he sees various paths, gardens, lakes, and marketplaces with shops and persons buying. He sees varieties of cinema houses, and he sees dancing and jubilation. Well, we didn't see people dancing on the streets of Cologne. If there was a Harinam, maybe we would see. When a person actually enters the city and personally sees the activities of the city, he becomes satisfied. Because we are social beings. Okay, so this was, it's 8:30 now. This was about this verse and purpose. Do you have any questions? Yes?
You said that the Jnana Bhakti has Bhakti mixed with material knowledge. Is this material knowledge or transcendental knowledge? The Jnana Bhakti.
We just read that it's called empirical knowledge, and in another place here Srila Prabhupada says empirical knowledge, and he says material knowledge. Material knowledge.
Okay, because I always understood that Jnana is a spiritual knowledge about what is the soul, what is God, and I heard that I heard that Uddhava was a disciple of Brihaspati, and he has this Gyan that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and this spiritual knowledge, and so his bhakti is mixed with spiritual knowledge.
You mean knowledge, impersonal?
No, personal knowledge.
Personal knowledge.
Yeah.
So whenever you mention personal knowledge, it has to do with the relationship with God and devotional service. That is personal. So if you want to learn more about this, I think there is a category in Vanipedia. And have you found the category yesterday when you were looking? I explained to you how to do it. You go to Google, you write, for example, Jnana Yoga or Jnana, and press space and write Vani quotes, one word, Vani quotes, and then I think the first or second link will be the category called Jnana or Jnana Yoga, whatever you type in. That's one way, and another is that there is a new search in Vanipedia where you can actually, when you enter something, if it has a category, you will get several categories in relation to this. So if you want to learn about this more, then make a study and then come back and enlighten us. Okay?
And Vanipedia.org or Vanipedia.com?
Vanipedia.org.
Okay. And second question is that I also read, I think Prabhupada's book, that if you want to realize Brahman, it's just a sub aspect, and if he goes further, then it's sub-chit. But I asked myself, though, Sat is the aspect of eternity. So even in eternity there is some ananda.
Yes.
But not fully, couldn't say manifested or condensed, like in Krishna.
It's small in comparison to the realization of Paramatma. And Paramatma realization, pleasure, is small in comparison to realization of Bhagavan. So there is successive levels of realization, and therefore thereof bliss related to this, or enjoyment or pleasure or happiness in relation to this. This is how it is described.
My third and last question is that everyone doing Krishna Bhakti Yoga, so he first, it's like a step, he first realized Brahman, then Paramatma, then Bhagavan, or he maybe first realized Bhagavan and then the other aspects are revealed to him?
I think it's individual how people get this realization, but by devotional service we are aiming at Bhagavan realization, and we can get very quickly the experience of highest bliss. But because we still need to get purified, we don't stay on that level. So to get to the sthai bhava, or steady love, steady level of steady affection, it will take time to come to that level. It will take time. Okay. He was the second, then you, please.
What I was going to ask that, I'm not really sure which version, but somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that one who has spiritual knowledge and empirical knowledge, he is very advanced.
You have to find a quote.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which video it is, but I was wondering, because without any knowledge, for me it wouldn't be possible to practice any kind of bhakti, because you need
It's
to
possible, even if you are not very knowledgeable or inclined towards knowledge, you can engage in taking prasadam, chanting. You can do from any position. I mean, we meet people who are so ignorant, and we, like homeless people, and we give them prasadam, we play music to them or engage them in chanting. So from any position one can get elevated by chanting, by taking prasadam, even if they don't have knowledge. And then naturally the knowledge will grow, and they will be able to understand. I mean, gopis are the highest devotees, but they are not very scholarly. So the goal is not to become knowledgeable, the goal is to become devoted. And all knowledge should lead to devotion. Okay, yes?
So that point also just reminded me of something that Radhamuni said in the Shanghai. He said that for practice bhakti, knowledge will come anyway. Like knowledge is just the heart of bhakti. That's what he said. And the questions are, so you touched on that point that we have imperfect senses and we can't really understand how Krishna arranged everything and like that. Sometimes I still have those doubts when I see something happening in my life, then I think, well, how is this possible? How did Krishna arrange this? Or if I leave the place, I still have some doubts, like, it sounds pretty weird, this is not very possible, like you said. What can I say to my mind when those thoughts come up? What can I think, or what can I do there?
Maybe he wants to listen.
It is disturbing.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
okay.
funny.
He's making some. So
Yes.
okay.
He was to listen and he can't.
Your your can you be more specific? Like, what is it that creates doubts? When you see something, you see
For
what?
example, if I see some arrangement from Krishna in my life that is like
In your life or all in other people's lives?
both.
Both.
And also if I read like the Krishna book, sometimes I have doubts in my mind, like how can this be possible as he said? Or,
In Krishna book.
yeah, the Krishna book, like the place of Krishna. It's for me a little unbelievable how he can kill all the demons and all this place in general.
Right. It is said that one has to understand, or I would say accept, Achintya Shakti. It is said that we need to accept that there is Achintya Shakti, that means inconceivable power or energy of the Lord. So, if for us something is not possible, it doesn't mean that it's not possible for somebody else. I mean, if somebody lifts 100 kilos and you can lift only 50, and you see them do that, would you think this is impossible? Because it's impossible for you? So, if something is impossible for us or for people, it doesn't mean it's impossible for God or for demigods or for some other people. So we need to accept the fact that there is personalities who are more powerful than us, and the Lord is the most powerful personality. And regarding different arrangements, as you say, if we see something that, for example, looks like an injustice, then we have to understand that there is no injustice. And we have to understand that injustice is in the opposite direction. I already mentioned this yesterday or the other day. It's injustice is that you get less than you deserve, or somebody who is, in trouble, suffering, they get less than they deserve. So when we understand that Krishna is merciful and that he is trying to help us, even by the trouble he is giving us to make us more serious for spiritual life, then we feel very safe and we don't lose faith by facing trouble or by seeing trouble in other people's lives. But we understand there is a reason and it's good. It's good. This is making us more serious in Krishna consciousness. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah.
I got a question because of this thought. So when we can know if it has from Krishna or it is just karma? Or could it be both?
No, if you are in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is always involved personally. He may play with your karma. But if you are in Maya, then you get under the jurisdiction of your karma. But if you are a devotee, seriously practicing, Krishna is directly supervising how your karma will be manifested in your life.
So he decides when the karma will manifest it and how much.
Yes.
Okay.
And usually it's less.
Yes.
Usually it's less.
Okay.
Yes?
Another quick question is just here. So if you realize the Brahman aspect, you get into the Brahman surveillance, like the Brahman Jyoti. And if you realize the Bhagavan, you get in the spiritual world. But what happens if you realize the Paramatma, you also get in the spiritual world, just on a different Vaikuntha Rupa?
If you realize Paramatma, what is the destination? I have to look up. Look up in Srila Prabhupada's in the database, or you can look up in the Vanipedia. I mean, there is also database search in the Vedabase.com. There is search, and also there is PrabhupadaBooks.com, which is almost like a database. You can try to search yourself, but I highly recommend to all of you to surf and search. And nowadays you have online, and you can get a software of database also, and you can, when you have a question, you can look, and if you cannot find, then you can maybe look for the help, that someone helps you to find, or you can ask some very advanced devotees if they know where it is, or if they have an answer to that question. But I don't remember hearing about the destinations of someone who has realized Paramatma. You know?
I heard from Maharaji when you was giving a lecture, he says that the Gyanis who may realize the Paramatma, but they think that they are themselves, and so they get a problem, they fall down, because they have this attitude of serving, of being a servant. That's why if some Gyani realizes Paramatma, he's confused and he thinks that's why he thinks I'm God.
Or a yogi.
Yes,
I'm a yogi.
Gyani yogi, yes.
Gyani usually go for the realization of Brahman, and yogis go for the realization of Paramatma. And Patanjali Yoga speaks about this, I think, realization of the Paramatma. But I'm not very good at this Patanjali Yoga. It's transcendental. It's important to understand all these stages. And Srila Prabhupada speaks about this. Therefore, we can look at the category about Paramatma, understand Paramatma realization. But one most important thing about Paramatma is that we start to hear Paramatma. Because Paramatma is the inner guide, and he is waiting for us to hear his guidance. And we are hearing the mind all the time, or most of the time we are hearing our mind, and that's why we are still bewildered. But if you can hear the Paramatma, you're clear. Okay, my next step is this, my next decision is this, my next service is this. And you make less and less mistakes if you try to listen within. Yeah?
I thought according to the class, just some question, because I know you are in Bhaktivedanta Manor. I want to ask if you know anything about the studies there.
Studies at the manor?
Yeah.
What kind of studies?
Isn't there the school for studying, like the Bhaktivedanta college? Isn't there one?
You have to inquire. I haven't been there. I mean, haven't been there for a long time. You have to send to their website your inquiry and ask them what they have. I know that Soho, ISKCON London has a college. It's called
Does it cost anything? You know that?
London College of Vedic Studies, LCVS. You need to inquire about the cost. I think there is a cost. I think there should be a cost if you enroll to courses, things like that. London College of Vedic Studies. Maybe I will give a course there sometimes. We'll see. And you have a lot of online studies that you can study Bhakti Shastri and different things. And Bhaktivedanta College, in Belgium,
I mean, it's in Belgium.
in Radhadesh.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours from here. You can also inquire about their programs, but they have a lot of programs. They also have Alfred Ford, that's Ambarish Prabhu, Alfred Ford School of Management. So this is also to attract professionals, but mainly devotees who are professionals enrolled to this. You can get MBA, I think, Masters of Business Administration. And they are doing quite a good job. They have also online training, video training. They have amazingly educated teachers. And I was just there recently. And I didn't do courses within the program of the college, but I did a couple of courses in the college, in the library of the college, and then some devotees from the college and also for students and from Radhadesh community attended. But they have a very comprehensive curriculum. You know curriculum? Program.
Yeah.
Program of teaching. Very comprehensive. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.